welcome back to the C Morning Show, where we will discuss a financial trend that can affect us, particularly Gen Z. I'm not one. I'm a millennial. It is called doom spending, but I think it also happened among the millennials.
Okay, well, I'm not sure because I've never heard of doom spending, and yeah, rightfully so.
What happened with those shoes, though? Those shoes that you
Well, we'll keep that for another talk show. So this doom spending phenomenon has emerged, as mentioned by Alin, among Gen Z. However, experts warn that it may have negative consequences for their financial future. In fact, according to King's Business School senior finance expert Ylva Bykstrom, doom spending may leave Gen Z and millennials more impoverished than previous generations.
Yes, today we will explore what doom spending is and how to avoid it. Yours is not doom spending, that's
thank
for
goodness.
sure. Joining us in our studio is personal finance enthusiast Mas Dani Rachmat. Good morning, Mas Dani.
Good morning.
Hello, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back.
Thank
Good
you.
to have
Thank
you
you.
always. All right, so yes, please enlighten us and perhaps our viewers that aren't familiar with the term. What is doom spending?
Yeah, actually, we experienced some bad years for the last these 3 years, right, with COVID and,
Sure.
and then wars and everything. So many younger generations is that there is so many uncertainties, and
Okay.
maybe there is no guarantee that future will be better than today.
Okay.
So instead of saving and everything to make themselves feel good about themselves, then they spend
Oh, like
all of
live
their
for
money.
today, not
Yes.
for tomorrow.
Like self-soothe because of the pessimism
Yes, because of the pessimism,
about the future.
Any particular things they're spending on? Like just anything?
they just spend. They just spend everything. All they have, they just spend.
Really?
They don't save.
Oh, that makes sense. The name makes sense to me now because doomsday, right? Like
Doomsday.
it's-
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Like the Armageddon.
This is really weird.
And what situations do we usually engage in doom spending?
So many people, at least the ones that I know, that they don't see that there is any use to save. There is no use to to try to hold yourself from spending your money, and they feel bad about that because we don't know how the future will be, and then they just spend.
Okay.
That is the point, because when they spend, you get like what, serotonin in your brain.
Yes.
Then you will feel good about
The
yourself.
happy hormone.
Yes, the happy hormones, it will release when you spend your money.
Yeah.
Because you get something and then you see that, oh, I have new things.
Okay, so I'm assuming that doom spending is more towards, because in my case, I thought doom spending was because I related it to the COVID era as well, where I spent on things that I thought I needed. Like, I'll give you an example. The first thing I bought was this like huge, giant, like 1 or 2 liter jug of hand sanitizer. I tell you about like 3/4 of it is still there right now in my closet.
Oh.
I spent on things that I thought I may have needed, for example, like tripods with flashlights so I
Yeah.
could do everything online because I think this is how the world's going to be. And a lot of that stuff is being unused now. But doom spending is more towards unnecessary items,
Unnecessary items.
because if you're spending on something that could be an asset, that's still okay, right?
Yes. Like what the tripod with the lighting.
Yeah.
You can use it for content creating, right?
Sure.
And then for that hand sanitizer, you still can use it.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like in hopelessness, like why don't I enjoy life, something like
Yes.
that. Maybe they spend on luxury and
yes.
experience like traveling,
Usually that is the main reason.
concerts.
So that I can keep my sanity, I can keep my mental health. I'm so sorry, mental health is serious issue.
Yes.
But so many people use that for an excuse so that they can spend more money
I agree.
than they have.
I agree. And we call that
Yeah.
retail therapy.
Retail
Retail
therapy,
therapy,
but
yes.
this is
Another way
in
to say.
deeper level.
In
doom
deeper level,
spending.
in way worse than retail therapy.
Okay,
I mean,
how bad are we talking here? Like, what are some people buying? What are some examples of things that people are buying?
sometimes, for example, maybe they just make like 5 million a month,
Yes.
but then they spend like 7.
Oh, they're
million.
overspending.
Yes,
living
they're overspending.
outside their means.
Yeah.
And
Because
rely on pay later.
rely on pay later, which is actually devil circle that they will enter, because just because they want to keep their self sane,
Yes.
they spend and then they spend and then they spend because they think that it will keep me it will keep my mental state healthy. But then they don't know. By the end of the day, they have to pay, or at least they have another things that they have to pay, and they don't have the money.
They don't plan for it.
Yes, they don't have the money already, and then they will succumb into worse state of mental health.
I don't know. Did you do this? I mean, before I was married, when I was much younger, I was spending recklessly. I would say that if I think about it now, I was spending on things that I didn't.
I don't know, Balin, but both of us
Yes.
did.
I think we did in some
Yes.
point of our life. Like I remember, like whenever I feel down or sad, I usually tend to spend more than I
Sure.
regularly do.
I think we all do that.
I think we all do that.
You spend then more than you regularly do, but not
Yes.
more than you make, right?
Outside
Yes,
of
no,
your
Yeah.
not.
Right.
But I
Still
noticed
within that
that,
limit,
like
yeah.
emotions affect my spending. I feel that until now.
Maybe all of us did.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, what are the worst effects that can happen because of doom spending?
The worst that can happen is that, you can get trapped in a very deep debt that you cannot get out of too. Because nowadays, we can use other people's money so easily. We can just borrow money very easily. Like in minutes, we can get the online loan and then those pay later. Almost every single, shopping
Platform,
e-commerce
like,
platform.
platform.
Yes.
They provide that.
I get
pay
phone
later.
calls every day
Yes.
offering me loans.
No, even,
every day, literally.
even from my bank account,
Yeah.
from my BCA account, I can activate my pay later very
Anytime.
easily.
Me too.
Anytime.
Any bank app.
Yes.
Any bank
We
app. you
can-
do
Now,
it.
now bank can also provide pay later,
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
which is very, very dangerous if you don't have the control and you, if you always see everything so pessimistically and then you just, I don't know what to do, but okay, then what I can do is I just spend, which is, you should do the other way around, right?
Yes.
Everything is so bad, but at least I can control my money. I can control what I spend. But people don't think like that. So that's why they became the doom spender.
And I guess this is where the gray area lies, because if you are doing retail therapy or you feel down, you want to pick yourself up by spending more. And then if you're getting yourself into debt because you're thinking, I don't have to worry about debt in the future because what if the world ends next week? Then they're not really thinking about that, and that gray area becomes that really kind of to the bad side. So what are some of the things that we can do to avoid this? Because we do need retail therapy. I'll admit, I still do it to this day to a certain extent. I don't go into doom spending the way we described, but what are some of the things we can look out for so that we realize, like, hey, am I just overdoing it here?
Yes. The answer is actually very simple. Go back to your budget. So you should see that, I don't know, for people that is already feeling very pessimistic about the future, maybe what they need to do is that they have to change the way they see the world first. The world is not that bad actually. Yes, tomorrow will be more expensive than today.
Yes.
And then many people will get sick tomorrow than today. But at least what can I do today is that, okay, I can live healthier. I can keep what I eat. I can keep what I spend my money on.
Things in your control.
Things in our control. Yes, you cannot control the world.
Right.
It is impossible to stop the war somewhere in this world. But at least you can control what you do about yourself.
Well said.
Yes, there are so many bad things happen in the world, but I can do good things for myself. That is, people have to focus on that. What can you do with yourself? I don't want to sound like some what is it?
Tone deaf.
Tone deaf, or maybe someone that is always saying positive things
Preaching.
and encouraging. Yes, preaching. But at least that is the very least thing you can do for yourself,
Isn't
for
that weird?
ourselves.
Yeah, when I think of the word like doomsday, I actually start to do the opposite. Instead of spending more, I'm worried so much about the future that I'm spending less because I think tomorrow's so uncertain. I better not buy this.
See,
That's
yes.
how I see doom unspending for
At
me.
least that is what we.
Right? Like you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about that, right? You never know what you're going to need your money for because remember COVID, many people were out of work.
Yes.
What if I end up being out of work for a year? So you need to kind of prepare more.
There are two sides of the coins. One side, they think that what if the doomsday happen and my money cannot go and
not
cannot
worth
buy
anything.
anything, just not works.
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
But then there is also another side. What if the doomsday happened and everything goes very expensive.
Yes.
So that I have to have money to be able to afford that, right?
Yes.
So let's think in that way.
And which
in
is
that
weird
sense.
because history dictates that when something bad happens in the world, we end up having to spend money or we have to buy supplies that are more scarce. So we actually do need money more.
Yes,
It's more
yes.
important in the future than less important.
Yes, that is why tomorrow is always more expensive than today. So you have to save your money today instead of spend all your money today.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why like some of the younger individuals right now think like, oh, houses pricings are so expensive.
Yes.
There's no need. I save up for the down payment. Why not just enjoy my money? That's another like pessimistic views, right?
They maybe because they're still too young, they don't understand how to enjoy your money when you have it, and then you can afford the things that you should buy. Instead of spending money paying the installment of your debt, paying back your the debt that you owe. I mean, they still don't get that, but then, yeah, they have to go. Maybe they have to go through that so that they can understand when they're our age.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
You know,
yes.
it reminds me of I've been hearing that Gen Z, actually there is a certain small part of Gen Z that has, there's stories about how people that already have put a down payment on a home and they paid mortgages for a few years and they have chosen to sell their homes and choose to rent. And in my mind, that's counterintuitive because don't you want to invest in an asset? But their mindset, when they're asked about it, they say, well, why am I going to pay a mortgage for 10 to 15 years and where is it going anyway? I might as well just be renting because then I'm less committed. So they don't want that commitment for that long term. And I think it goes back to that same mindset that we're talking about, right?
Yes.
So if we are already trapped, or do they not realize if they are in doom spending, how can we stop ourselves from doing it?
You need intervention. I mean, for someone that is already trapped in the doom spending, usually they don't even realize it.
Right.
Yeah, because they think that this is the way the world works, and that just like kind of proof of their point that okay, I see that the world is bad. See, now I'm in this situation. What I think is
But it's because of what
correct.
they're doing anyway.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so they do need intervention from their family, from their friends, or if they have to, they need a slap on the face so that they understand that that is not how the world works. That is not actually what is going on. They need it.
I think you used the right term, right? Lingkaran setan.
Yes.
It's like a vicious
Yes.
cycle where
Yeah.
you do something bad, they put themselves in a bad position, and then
And
they
then-
realize,
yeah.
look, I told you the world was
Yeah.
bad, right? Oh.
Someone needs to
Intervene.
to interfere.
intervene, someone closest to
Yes.
the person.
Okay, so again, is this something that is likely to, a phenomenon that is likely to keep happening more and more? Because obviously we know that Indonesia has now a working age, is the youngest in the world. We have over 50% of our population.
I
is at
think
that
so.
age. Really?
Because it will spread easily.
Yeah.
But then before you get trapped in that vicious cycle, you can start taking control of yourself. Thinking about what are the things that I can do? What are the things that I can control? What are the things that can, mitigate those bad things happen to me, at least. Okay, for the rest of the world, I don't care, but at least what can I do to prevent those things happen to me?
Okay.
Yeah, this is, I also think this is exacerbated by social media because most of Gen Z is on social media and then they see other people spending and they say, hey,
Yes.
look at how happy they are.
Yeah.
And they end up doing the same. I want to be like that.
With those shopping bags, with those fancy clothes, with those cars,
Yes.
people look so happy. They don't know whose cars is that, whose clothes.
How much money they still
How much
owe
money? Yeah.
on those cars.
So it feels
Yeah.
natural because everybody else is doing
Yeah.
it. Yes. So thank you so much,
Dani.
Dani
Thank you for having
Rachmat,
me.
personal
Always enlightening.
finance.
Scary,
Yes.
but enlightening. Scary that this is
We need to talk about this, right?
Absolutely. All right.
So yeah, we'll have more interesting stories from around the world after the break. So stay here on the C Morning Show only on C Today.
Stop spending.